Hello and welcome to this digital camera magazine video tutorial. Here we're going to show you how to create an eye-catching collage. Now here we have a macro shot of a rose, and what we're going to do is square crop that, then take a few colour swatches from a room, apply those colours to the rose and come up with an eye-catching collage that will look eventually just like this. So the first thing to do is obviously take your photograph of your rose. Very simple, just macro shot of the top of the rose. Then what we need to do is to create some colour swatches of the room that we want to hang our collage in. So I've taken a quick photograph of my lounge. And then what I want to do is just to use the marquee tool just to select an area of the room or one of the colours that I want to colour swatch. Just go Control C and Control N to create a new document. Then just go Control V or Apple V just to paste that in. And then so that I've got a nice average of the entire colour area, if I go up to Filter, Blur and Gaussian Blur, I can just blur that so it's almost just one colour. So I've done a radius here of about 85 pixels. Just click OK. Now I can just use the colour pipette just to take the colour, have a look at my colour swatch, and we can see that the RGB value is there of 163, 33 and 55. And then what I want to do is do exactly the same for another couple of areas or a couple of areas of colour within the image and create my colour swatch. So if I just click here, we'll see the colour swatch that I'm going to use, and we've got the red of the beanbag, orange that's taken just from the fruit, and the actual colour of the wall, which is sort of pebble colour. So I've got my three colours that I want to use to create my collage. So if I go back to the rose, and what we want to do is just to crop this down and prepare it ready for the application of those colour swatches. First thing I need to do is just to crop the picture in so it's nice and square. So if I just select the crop tool, and you'll find that in the tool palette on the left, shortcut for that is just C. Then I want a width of about 7 centimeters, a height of 7 centimeters, and my resolution is 240 ppi. So now I can just click into my picture, draw my square, get it roughly aligned, and what I'm trying to do is just to get the center point or center crosshair sort of central to the rose. When I'm happy with that, I can just click the green arrow at the bottom, and that'll crop my image in to exactly 7 centimeters by 7 centimeters, and that'll fit perfectly into the final A3 image. With that done, I now want to take out all of the colour information. So if I go Control U or Apple U and just reduce the saturation right down to -100 and click OK. Now I want to take or create a colour swatch. Now I've already colour swatched the beanbag, so I've got that set as my foreground colour. Now if I go up to Adjustment Layers and choose a solid colour fill layer, that'll automatically put that colour straight into the fill layer, and all I need to do is click OK, and we now have that colour filling the layer. Now to get that to overlay onto the rose picture, all I need to do is change the blending mode to soft light, and we now have a nice pink rose. Now before we go on, we just want to increase the contrast and the detail of that rose a little bit. So if we go back up to our adjustment layers, select levels, and holding down Alt, we can just move the slider in so that we can see the clipping masks. Again, we'll do that for the shadows. Just adjust the midtones a little bit. And when we're happy with the result, all we do is just click OK. Now we can flatten that image down, and that will create our first rose for our collage. So if we go Control Shift Alt E, That'll flatten all of those layers down into a new layer, and then we need to select it all by going Control or Apple A, Control or Apple C to copy, Control or Apple N for a new document, and then we're just going to paste our new rows straight into there. So we've done our first rows. Now to do our second one, we can click back onto our colour swatches. Again, we're just going to take the colour from the orange, then go back to our rows, switch off our first colour fill layer, and switch off our first rows, back to our adjustment layers and solid colour. This time we've got our bright orange, just click OK. Again, go down to soft light for our blending mode, and what we want to do is readjust our levels for that colour. So you'll find that each colour needs slightly different adjustment. So here I'll just take that down a bit, click OK, and again Control Shift Alt E, and there we have our second colour for our collage. So Control A, C, N to create a new document, Control or Apple V just to paste that in. And then finally we'll do our final rows. Again, just take the colour back into our rows picture. We'll switch off our orange rows, switch off our orange fill layer, click onto our background layer, to adjustment, solid colour, click OK. For our fill, down to soft light, and you can see it's quite a nice ivory colour. And again, just adjust our levels, hold down Alt just to see where it's clipping, click OK, again Control Shift Alt and E to create our new rows, Control or Apple A to select all, Control or Apple C to copy all, create a new layer by Control or Apple N, Control V just to paste that in. Now what I'm going to do is just flatten each of those rows layers down. We now have our 3 roses ready for our collage. So I'll leave you to get on with that, and so in the next part we'll actually lay those 3 roses out onto our A3 canvas.